Guys, it's Last Grip. Today we are here to talk about the ultimate 1v1 tier list for Multiversus. Now I'm going to be changing how I rank some of these, so I'll put S or S plus, S, A, B, and I'll say B plus, and then we'll say last tier, and we won't even use this last tier. We'll probably just delete it real quick. Okay, so this is realistically what I think the 4 tiers are right now for Multiversus. Honestly, this is pretty close to how I view it. We could even put this as A plus and A minus. The balance in this game, people hate on it. It's actually pretty good. A lot of the characters aren't like ridiculously OP just for the sake of being OP. Then there's quite a good amount of game balance right about now. So I wouldn't really be complaining about game balance being the main problem in this game. Until an actual pro player releases, like a top 10, top 20, top 50 player releases their opinions, I can confirm this is the only tier list you will get on this website that's accurate. Everybody else I've seen has yet to nail even close to what the 1v1 tier list will look like. So yeah, until we get like a top tier player releasing a tier list, this is pretty much the best you're gonna get. Nobody right now on YouTube really knows how each character places, I believe, at high level. I think all of them are just like, this move, big hitbox, OP character. No, like, you gotta actually consider what makes them good. Their speed, their weight, what combo potential they have, what kill potential they have. Not just this one move good, therefore they OP. But before I get into the tier list, I do want to make sure that, if you guys enjoy this content, make sure you drop a sub and maybe you can click that notif bell if you really do enjoy it that much. Let's try to hit 200 likes with this video. Can we hit 200 likes? And then one final thing, just make sure you check the socials in the description below. Got Twitch, TikTok, Discord. Especially Discord, would love if you guys would check that out. That's pretty much it in terms of the intro. Let's get into it. So we'll go in order. So this is, I think, alphabetical if I'm not wrong. I'm too lazy to check. I'm too lazy to do it. But yeah, so this is alphabetical except Gizmo. I'll just start with Arya here. Now, I think Arya used to be a top 3 character. She dropped significantly with this update. In fact, I'd argue she dropped about 3 or 4 places in terms of characters. I think she's probably a high A plus or S, or sorry, middle S, maybe high A plus. I might need some verification here. Again, this is a little bit newer. This is a little bit early into the patch, so it's really hard to know 100%. But I do believe this is a fair place to put her. I'll say A plus for now, and I'll consider it later. Okay, Batman. Batman is currently in the top 3, top 5, personally. He has no end lag on any of his moves. A lot of people complain about how insanely fast his moves comes out and how just consistent they are with how hard they react to. Even though Battering is a little bit easier to counter now, I do still think he has some great normals. His aerials are insane, some pretty decent kill power, and just overall, he's just really fast. I mean, he's just got so many strengths. I think he's probably one of the best rushdown characters right now. I'd say he's bottom of S+. Bugs Bunny, I got really hit this patch. I actually have yet to see one Bugs Bunny play in 1v1s. That on top of other factors makes him hard to place, but if I had to put him somewhere, I would say he's probably around the same area as Arya, low S or high A+. He's still a great character, but there's just better ones characters right now. I'd actually even argue that Finn might be up there with him nowadays. So we'll set him A+, maybe even bottom of S for now. Finn. Now, okay, I'm going to be the least biased I possibly can. I think Finn is better than Arya now. Honestly, in the meta, I think he's better than Arya, but I still do not think that he is the best, even anywhere near the best character. I think he's the second best assassin. I think he overtook Arya's spot as the second best assassin, and I'll show you guys who I think is the best assassin soon. The worst character in the game, in my opinion, is Garnet. Garnet is even worse than Taz now, in my opinion. Taz at least has some really strong kill power. Garnet, literally, I don't know what they were thinking when they buffed Garnet this patch. I can't even fathom how bad. I think it was actually the worst part of this new update is how weak the Garnet buffs were. They could not have expected this to do anything to the character. I think she's I think she's probably bottom of A minus, bottom 2 characters. She does have her strengths. She's not a significant amount worse than these top. That's why it's an A minus, not a B tier or B plus. So it's not like she's a huge step below everybody else, but she really needs help. She has almost no strengths about her that other characters don't just outclass. The biggest thing about her is her projectile's okay, her teleport's pretty good, and her jab is pretty good. And her Nair fastfall is really good on ledge. That's about it. Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is, in my eyes, the best assassin in the game for ones right now. She's actually incredible, in my opinion. I feel like if you're playing Harley, you win just so many matchups, and you actually have a decent chance against most projectile characters because you have that zoning tools of your own. Also, until they remove infinites, she is just going to dominate the combo game. She pretty much combos harder than any other character in the game right now. Now that, you know, Bugs Nair Dare got nerfed a little bit, now that Shaggy got nerfed a little bit, she genuinely has probably the best loops in the game, once again. So I just genuinely think her only main weakness is her weight and speed classification, which is a big weakness, but her entire kit is just ridiculous. Her up strong is actually a joke. That move is ridiculous. I don't know who thought that move would be balanced. It basically does 22% when it connects and has no end lag. The only problem with it is startup, because obviously you have to charge it, but otherwise it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. That move, it's so dumb. Her loops are insane. If you run ice to beat you, you basically have a 60% confirm if you have enough practice. It's just ridiculous. So great character, definitely slept on. Right now in the meta, I think she's definitely a top 1v1 character. Iron Giant. A lot of people say this character is really good, and I agree. I think he's a bottom of best character. I think I was really hating on his 1v1 potential. I think he's still, after the nerfs, is really good. Dominates, and I mean dominate. You know what? In fact, if you're playing in low elo, if you're watching this video right now, you're playing in low elo, he's up here. Up here easily. Up here. Top 10%, top 5%, like I'm saying, like, you know, actually I'll say like the top 10,000, top 20,000. He's like here. But, you know, we're ranking this, you know, higher elo, like the top 20k, if not a little bit higher than that. We'll say he's right here. Jake the Dog, still a top character. In fact, after all the nerfs, I believe he's even higher. His nerfs were really not enough to make him weak. After they fixed his Sair hitbox, like, he really has no flaws right now. He has, like, probably the best bruiser range in the game. He has some pretty decent weight. He has great ways to land. He basically has some of the safest combos in the game. He has an amazing nair. Even though his bite is weaker, it's still a pretty great move. I mean, just everything is so good about this character. His recovery is good. I really just don't know a weakness about him, and in fact, I'd argue he's probably tied, if not a little bit better than Batman, especially because he counters Batman, because of how he can just shut down Batarang. So that's my placement opinions on Jake. I think he's really good. I think he's top 3 if you know how to play the game. Yeah. A lot of people love to say, and I will say, I continuously will keep hating on people who will call this character difficult or, you know, overrated. He is not only one of the easiest characters, but also consistently one of the safest. I've noticed that my Jake, like, basically my character, like, whenever all my side characters, like, I have Shaggy, Batman, and Tom and Jerry as my side characters right now, and I notice whenever I lose to someone on my Shaggy, Batman, Tom, and Jerry, I pull out the level 11 Jake and I win every single time. The character is ridiculous at any level of play. That's why he's so consistently ranked at the top. So I believe that Jake and Batman are just insane. Lebron is finally starting to get the recognition he needs. He's still a great character. In some respects. I definitely don't think he's anywhere near Garnet. I actually think he's bottom of A+. He's quite a leap ahead of Garnet, in my opinion. Pretty great character. If he just gets some of his moves fixed, if he gets a little bit more consistent frame data, and, you know, gets a little bit more help, I think he'll be up here in the S, maybe high A+. I think he's a pretty good character. There's a reason he has some pretty good win rates despite low pick rate. There's a reason why. There's the dedicated group of LeBron players that try to make him viable. I respect that. I think he's a great character. I think he has a lot of potential. And if you play him, mad respect. But yeah, if you guys didn't know, down air side special used to be a kill confirm at like 90 for most characters, at least the most popular characters. And they removed that in order to make it so that his down air knocks more horizontally. And then gave him like 3 buffs that basically don't affect his playstyle or game whatsoever. So they basically shadow nerfed him, and every single YouTuber's like, dude, LeBron just got some crazy buffs. And it's like, dude, do you not even know what they just did to the character? They basically removed his best kill confirm. And then we're like, here's some small buffs to his projectile. This should do some great stuff for him. No, like, it basically knocked this character down like two placements, in my opinion, but he's still pretty good. He's getting optimized more and more in, you know, hashtag make LeBron an expert character. That's all I'm gonna say. Morty. I argue this is top 3 hardest characters in the game, if not the hardest character in the game. at a top optimization level after all of his fixes and after his down air being way more consistent. People optimizing his moves a lot more, people are getting a lot better at him because he is an expert character. I actually believe he's up here with Finn. I think he's pretty good in 1v1s. I think he has a lot of options. He zones out a lot of characters, and I think that he's starting to become a little bit of I would say 80% of a Tom and Jerry. I mean, he's really good. He basically has a get out of jail free card in two different ways, off stage and on stage, in the form of his down special and his up special. He has, some pretty good ways to zone and recover. He's just a great character. People are starting to realize how good he is. So I respect people for kind of noticing how good he can be. I actually think he's slightly better than Arya now. Rain Dog is another character I think is pretty decent. I think this is kind of a similar placement to Lebron. I think he's slightly better than Lebron in ones. He has some really nice damage output. And against characters that aren't rushdowns, he does a really great job. I think characters that are right in between, kind of like Garnet, for example, kind of like Bugs, characters. He even does like pretty decent against characters like Arya, I'm pretty sure. I think overall, he just has a great way of destroying all the low tiers. He destroys Finn. He destroys a few of these higher tiers that I'm going to place later. He does actually have some pretty good matchups, so I'd actually argue he might even be better than Arya. And again, I could be totally overestimating this. Arya could be a great character and I just would have no idea. But I just think that from my experience and thinking about it, I just genuinely think Rain Dog could be either here or here. I'm not quite sure, but I'm not going to make that bold placement. Shaggy is still a top character. I would say he's probably number 3 or number 2 by now. And fantastic character. Still, they did nerf him justifiably. His weight needed nerfed really bad. His balance strong needed nerfed really bad. And those were the two things that I really complain about him with. The other thing that I think should be a little bit fixed is how quickly he can input a move after charge. It's kind of dumb that you can how easily you can bait out charge. I also think this character is great against zoners because he can just charge and then go back in, and he has armor on all those moves. So what are they going to do? Throw a projectile at him? Oh wait, what are they going to do? I mean, that's just how it is. So he has some great, mid-range, long-range, close-range potential. I think this character has been optimized really well by player Tamunakaro. I'm so sorry if I butchered her name. Shaggy T. Check him out. Amazing Shaggy player. Definitely showed how much potential he has. And I think people are kind of being kind of ridiculous by saying it's a quote unquote brain dead character. I don't think any of these characters are in Multiversus are necessarily just 0 IQ. I think they at least take a moderate amount of skill. So I think this character is being hated on a little bit too much. Steven Universe, another character I believe is up there with Harley. This character is absolutely just ridiculous, and nobody talks about it. Every single bad YouTuber will just be like, Steven, I don't really see his potential. He's like here for me, honestly. No, they'll make like a whole new tier and make it D tier and be like, yeah, Steven really is just lackluster. No, he's fantastic. If you've played against a good Steven, I've played against top 200 Steven players, it's actually near impossible, especially on a character like Finn. I can't do anything. I feel hopeless against the top Steven. I don't know if it's just a matchup or just how good top Stevens actually are and committed to their character they are. This character, do not forget how good he is. He will sweep you if you're playing against a good one. Again, don't underestimate him. Great character. Highly recommend you pick him up if you're trying to get into a little bit more of a difficult character. Superman lost a little bit of his strength this patch. The laser being gone, it makes him have a little bit harder of a time versus zoner characters, and I actually think it knocked him down quite a bit. I actually would say he goes all the way down to around where Iron Giant is. Not to say Iron Giant's bad, but he did drop down a few tiers. I think that Superman, right now in his current state, without laser, has a little bit of a tougher time in certain matchups. That was kind of his way to play in the disadvantage. But now, it's a little bit harder for him to get in. I've noticed playing Finn this patch that this matchup was already pretty easy, and now it's just a landslide. Not really much he can do. So I do feel like he definitely must have dropped by a few tiers. I also think he got a few other nerfs, so don't quote me on that. I'll put it in the post if he actually did. Taz is he's around here, a little bit under Rain Dog, maybe above Rain Dog. I'm not sure where I'd put these two. Again, they're very, very underpicked characters, so it's hard to judge where they're at. To be honest, I wouldn't say I'm the most experienced in placing Rain Dog or Taz, because genuinely you play against 2 or 3 every patch, It's insane. Like these are actually extinct species. I even tweeted the other day, I tweeted, quote, "Who actually plays Taz?" Because like genuinely, who does play Taz? Like he's a great character by design. I think he has a lot of potential to be like a Wario type character from Smash, but I just don't think people play him. He just doesn't have that niche in this game quite yet. I think the more he gets updated, the more he gets buffed, the better he'll be. For example, I think his Nair is super good right now, which actually I actually think I'm going to place him right here because of his Nair. I think his Tornado is still pretty solid, even though it has a lot of counterplay. His Dog Pile's not bad. He has a few nice combos. I do like his up strong, he's pretty good. He has some nice up air juggling. Just some strengths about him. And also now he can counter bugs quite a bit with his eat move, which is pretty good. So happy they buffed this character quite a bit. And yeah, Tom and Jerry, again, a lot more rare ever since this update. For some reason people have kind of stopped playing him as much, but I don't think he got gutted by any margin. I think Void was a little bit wrong to put him you know, like 8 characters lower than he did in his last tier list for at least 2v2s. And the reason why is just because I just don't see how this character could be weak in his current state. I mean, what is really the flaw with this character, right? He has a good counter to rush down. I mean, he has a heavy projectile he can throw out all the time. He has, you know, dynamite. He has a really great jab, a decent kill. He kills decently early. He's a decently fast character. Overall, just like not a bad character at all. In fact, I'd put him maybe around where Bugs is. I think these two are in the exact same spot for ones right now. I really do think that these two characters are in the same area. I think that if you are a ones Tom and Jerry main, then I mean, there's no real disrespect. I mean, sure, it's annoying to play against Slingshot, but I mean, it's not like this character's OP right now. I feel like he's in a pretty balanced spot, if not a little bit strong. Velma's been getting hit these patches, man. I'm telling you guys, Velma just keeps getting lower and lower and lower. She's still probably the best 2v2 character, if not one of the best 2v2 characters, but I do think that she is deserving of maybe being around where Finn is, honestly. I think that she has some great, you know, potential. I think that, you know, even though you can't up special down air as much, she still has some great combos. She does some great things at a far range. She can completely outbox certain characters, even though she's a zoner. It's kind of crazy how, despite her being a support, she still has some amazing features about her. And if you manage to live long enough to snitch, well, not snitch, but call the mystery homies, then it's. I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, she's gonna chase you around with projectiles while the car chases after you. Like, what are you gonna do, bro? You're cooked. So I don't know. Yeah, she's really good. I think there's not enough of them in 1v1s. I think people just basically just use her to abuse her in 2v2s instead of just trying out her one's potential. But yeah, I mean, not that that's a bad thing. I hate Velma, but still, this is my personal opinion on her. I think she's pretty good, and I think she's got some good potential. Wonder Woman. Character is pretty strong. She's not only does she have a huge advantage in the weight and speed category, but she also is insane in twos. Therefore, I do think she might actually be slightly better than Superman, and there's a lot of reasons for this. I actually think she's one of the harder characters to reach the skill ceiling at in this game. Lasso is probably one of the hardest moves to use in the game. I think there's that move is insanely hard to space. And even though her combos and her air neutral, like how she plays in the air during neutral, is not too hard to learn, I do think that she has some pretty clear weaknesses. In fact, I might want to interchange Finn and Wonder Woman. I think she's a great character. I would honestly argue she's the perfect mid-tier character. She's right in the middle in my opinion, because I don't feel like she's a terrible, you know, position against other characters, but at the same time, great character. I'm not quite sure where the meta will take her, but this is my prediction as of right now. Now, you guys know in my last video, I did say he was the worst character in the game. And you might ask, where would you put Gizmo? Oh, I think he's the best. No, I'm just kidding. I think I want to say he's around a little bit under Morty. And here's why. This character has probably one of the best moves in the game. And that move is Arrow. This move is just nuts. It is nuts. It is basically Batarang, but 20,000 times harder to counter. It is basically Pi, but even harder to counter. This move is just ridiculous. It carries his entire playstyle. And I think that on top of Car, which is a great tool, that on top of some of his kill confirms, which are actually, despite killing really late, they're pretty solid and work pretty well, which is his up special, down special. I think that A few of his other moves, for example, like his forward air, are really great. I think Morty and Gizmo are basically extremely similar character. I literally think that Gizmo is basically an easier version of Morty. This character basically just has Batarang, but he's slower and has a few more weaknesses to mention. I think he's still up there. Great 1v1 character. I really wish I wouldn't have been wrong about my prediction once again. As you guys know, I've been wrong about my prediction twice in a row. I thought Morty was going to be up here, and I thought Gizmo was going to be down here. So looks like I was wrong both times. So this is why you guys don't trust my opinions. But that was my predictions. And yeah, I'm going to do a few more adjustments. I'm going to look at a few win deltas. I'm going to think about it a little bit more. And I'm going to just come back here and do my final adjustments. And then the bottom of these characters, I think they all have their strengths, but they're just not as good as these ones up here. I think they're all super viable. They can all end up on the top 20. It really just depends on how you utilize the character. I think Morty and Gizmo are the up and coming. I think the more they get optimized, they could end up here. They could end up here. Both of these characters could. I just think it, you know, some time might have to pass. People might have to get better with them. And I mean, remember, they've only been out for like, Morty's been out for what, 2 weeks? Gizmo's been out for like a few days. So it's really hard to pinpoint where they're at now, especially since Morty just got a buff. But I do think this is two pretty valid spots for the both of them. Alright, well, that's pretty much all I have for today. I'm sorry about the very long video. I wanted to give as much explanation as I could. Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you drop a sub, like, you know, let's hit 200 likes like I said. And then again, check the description for my socials. Thanks all for all the support recently. I'm so thankful for you guys, and I appreciate it so much. Anyway, peace out, y'all.